Restarting your mind is not just a decision. It's a conscious act of liberation. It's the moment you realize that your thoughts have been running your life like an old program, looping the same patterns, the same reactions, the same outcomes. For most people, life feels predictable, not because it's meant to be that way, but because they are living from memory instead of imagination. Every morning they wake up and recall who they are, their name, their problems, their job, their failures, their fears, and in doing so, they resurrect the same personality, the same emotions, and ultimately the same day. When you restart your mind, you interrupt that automatic replay. You stop letting the past define your present. You stop being the same old version of yourself that your subconscious keeps resurrecting every single morning. Think about it. Your mind is like a supercomputer, and your thoughts are the code that runs it. Over years of repetition, you've installed programs of self-doubt, limitation, and emotional reaction. Each time you replay an old experience and feel the same emotion about it, you're strengthening that neural pathway. You're literally wiring your brain to become your past. Restarting your mind means interrupting that wiring. It's like pressing stop on the emotional movie you've been replaying. It means detaching from the identity that has been built out of past pain and familiar emotions. It's the moment you look at your own thoughts and say, "This isn't who I am anymore." To truly restart your mind, you have to become aware of your inner dialogue. Most people don't think they're being thought. Their mind is constantly producing reactions based on yesterday's emotions, and they call that thinking. Real awareness begins when you step back and observe your thoughts without becoming them. You begin to notice how often your mind drifts into worry, how often you anticipate failure before even taking action, how often do you replay conversations that hurt you, feeding the same emotional state over and over again. The moment you observe those thoughts, you separate yourself from them. You're no longer the thinker. You're the witness. And that's where power begins, because you can't change what you don't notice. The process of restarting your mind begins in awareness, but transforms through choice. Awareness alone shines the light on the program, but choice rewrites it. You have to consciously choose new thoughts that align with who you want to become. You start imagining the life you desire as if it's already happening. You think greater than how you feel? That's how you begin to override the old emotional addiction that keeps you trapped. Your body might resist it, will crave the familiar feelings of stress, guilt, or worry, because those chemicals are its comfort zone, but you have to persist. Every time you choose a thought of possibility over a thought of limitation, you're literally rewiring your brain toward a new future. Restarting your mind requires courage. It asks you to let go of the identity you've built from pain, the story that defines your suffering, the version of yourself that feels safe in limitation. The truth is, your mind will always try to convince you to stay the same, because change threatens its survival. The ego fears death, and change feels like dying to the old self. But that's exactly what you must do. Let the old self dissolve so a new version can emerge. You can't step into your future while holding on to your past. You can't think new thoughts while living from old emotions. You have to surrender the old mental patterns completely. Imagine hitting a reset button inside your brain. You stop rehearsing the past and begin rehearsing your future. You stop identifying with failure and start identifying with possibility. You start visualizing the person you want to be, the one who's calm, confident, powerful, and focused on. You let yourself feel what it would be like to already be that person. That emotional rehearsal begins to install new programs in your subconscious. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. It only knows what you consistently think and feel. So when you think and feel from your future instead of your past, your brain begins to believe it's already happening, and your body follows. Restarting your mind is the act of returning to the present moment, because the present is the only place where new possibilities exist. The past is memory, the future is imagination, but now is creation. Every time you catch yourself drifting into old patterns of thought, bring yourself back here now. Feel your breath, sense your body, and remind yourself that you're not your past. You're the awareness that can choose differently right now. In that awareness lies infinite power. Because the present is where you can install a new frequency of thought, a new vibration of energy, a new way of being. Your reality is shaped by your mental state, and your mental state is shaped by your dominant thoughts. Restarting your mind is like resetting your inner operating system. You begin to notice the thoughts that no longer serve you and replace them with thoughts that elevate you. You begin to think on purpose rather than by habit. You begin to align your inner world with the vision of the future you want to experience. The moment you start living with that level of awareness, your energy begins to shift. And when your energy shifts, your entire external reality begins to rearrange itself in response to who you've become internally. Restarting your mind means you stop living as the echo of your old emotions and start living as the expression of your new awareness. You stop reacting to life and start creating it from within. You stop identifying with who you were and begin becoming who you were. Always meant to be every human being is a field of energy. Before they are a body of matter, you are not just flesh and bone, you are vibration, frequency, and consciousness in motion. Everything you think, everything you feel, emits an electromagnetic signal into the field around you. The universe is constantly responding to that signal. It's not reacting to your words. It's reacting to your energy. When you understand this, you realize that resetting your life means resetting the energy you broadcast. You cannot create a new future with the same energy that built your past. If your emotions are anchored in frustration, anger, fear, or lack, that's the exact frequency you're transmitting. And life mirrors it right back to you in the form of circumstances, people, and outcomes that match it. Resetting your energy means changing that internal signal so the external world can begin to align with a higher vibration. When you wake up in the morning and immediately remember your problems, you're not just thinking about them, you're reactivating the emotions associated with them. Your body becomes conditioned to feel the same way it felt yesterday, which keeps you stuck in the same energetic state. You're sending the same message out to the universe, telling it, "This is who I am, this is what I expect." To reset your energy, you must first break that emotional habit. You must become aware of what you're broadcasting before you can choose to transmit something new. Awareness is the first act of transformation. Once you become conscious of how your energy feels, you begin to take your power back from the external world. Energy flows where attention goes. If you keep focusing on what you lack, your energy contracts. If you focus on gratitude, abundance, and possibility, your energy expands. The frequency of your emotions determines the quality of your experiences. Fear, guilt, and resentment are low vibrations. They keep your field heavy and dense. Love, joy, and appreciation are high vibrations. They expand your field and attract synchronicities that align with your higher self. Resetting your energy means consciously choosing elevated emotions even when your circumstances haven't changed yet. You don't wait for something good to happen to feel good. You feel good first, and then good things begin to happen. This is where most people struggle. They believe their emotions are controlled by their circumstances. But that's an illusion. Your emotions are choices that can be trained through awareness and intention. When you decide to wake up each day and elevate your state through meditation, gratitude, breath work, or simply being fully present, you begin to change the electromagnetic field around your body. Your heart starts sending out a coherent signal that harmonizes with your mind. That coherence is the language the universe understands. It's like tuning a radio to the frequency of the reality you want to experience. When your heart and mind are aligned, you become a magnet for that frequency. Resetting your energy also means letting go of the energetic baggage you've been carrying. Every grudge, every resentment, every emotional wound you hold on to consumes your life force. The longer you hold it, the more it defines your vibration. You can't move into a higher frequency while dragging the weight of the past behind you. You must release it not to excuse what happened, but to free yourself from its energetic hold. Forgiveness isn't for them. It's for your own expansion. When you forgive, you untangle your energy from the past, and that release opens space for new energy to flow in. The more you release, the lighter you become. Your energy field is like water. It takes on the shape of whatever container you pour it into. If you're constantly focused on stress, you're molding your energy into tension. If you're focused on love, you're molding it into peace. The moment you decide to reset your energy, you begin reshaping your vibrational field into harmony. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about shifting your emotional state so that your energy becomes aligned with the. Our mind is the most powerful tool you possess, but most people let it run wild, scattered across 1,000 distractions, pulled by old habits, fears, and external noise. When your focus is divided, your energy becomes diluted, and diluted energy creates diluted results. Refocusing your intention means bringing all of your mental, emotional, and energetic power into alignment with one clear purpose. It means deciding, truly deciding what you want to create, and refusing to give your attention to anything that doesn't serve that vision. The mind is a lens, and whatever you focus that lens on expands in your life. If you focus it on worry, you amplify worry. If you focus it on gratitude, you amplify peace. Reality begins to mirror back whatever dominates your inner focus. When you wake up each morning, your thoughts immediately start searching for familiar problems. You might not even notice it, but your mind is trained to return to what it knows. It looks for the same stress, the same routine, the same emotional triggers. That's because your subconscious doesn't care about your happiness. It only cares about survival and familiarity. To refocus your intention, you must retrain your mind to prioritize vision over memory. You stop asking, "What went wrong yesterday?" and start asking, "What can I create today?" You begin each day not as a continuation of the past, but as a new opportunity to design the future. Intention is not just a wish or a desire, it's directed energy combined with belief. When your thoughts, emotions, and focus are unified toward one purpose, your intention becomes magnetic. It starts to attract people, situations, and opportunities that align with your vision. But most people never reach that level of clarity because they spend most of their day giving their attention to what they don't want. They think about lack, failure, or fear of what might go wrong. Every time they do, they feed that outcome with energy. The universe doesn't interpret good or bad. It only responds to frequency. When you constantly think about what you're afraid of, you're broadcasting a signal of fear, and life begins to match it. Refocusing your intention is about becoming deliberate with your attention. Attention is the currency of creation. Whatever you consistently give your attention to becomes more real in your experience. So when you start visualizing your desired future, when you imagine it clearly and emotionally connect to it as if it's already happening, you're training your subconscious to accept it as truth. Your brain starts forming new neural pathways that align with that reality. Your body begins to feel the emotions of that future in the present moment. And because your brain and body are living that experience energetically, the outer world begins to shift to meet it. This is not fantasy, it's neuroscience and quantum law working together in harmony. To refocus your intention, you must create space for clarity. Silence and stillness are not empty, they are full of potential. When you sit in stillness, when you breathe and allow your awareness to settle, the noise of the world begins to fade, and what's left is truth. That's where intention is born, not from stress, not from effort, but from inner alignment. You begin to ask yourself, what do I truly want to experience? Who do I want to become? What energy do I want to embody today? And as you answer those questions, your focus sharpens. You begin to feel your vision rather than just think it. You start to live as if the future you desire is already unfolding because in the energetic field, it already exists. Most people scatter their focus by multitasking, worrying, or comparing themselves to others. Their attention is constantly leaking into situations they can't control. Every time you think about someone who hurt you, you give them your energy. Every time you replay an argument or stress about something that hasn't happened, you're feeding energy into a reality you don't want. To refocus your intention, you must reclaim your attention from the external world. You must pull it back into your heart, into the present, and choose consciously where to place it. The moment you do that, your energy becomes concentrated and powerful. Your intention must always come from a place of coherence, not force. You don't create by pushing harder. You create by aligning deeper. When your intention comes from fear, it creates resistance. When it comes from love, it flows. The energy of love, gratitude, and purpose is expansive. It allows creation to unfold naturally. So when you refocus your intention, let it come from a state of inner wholeness. Don't set your focus on what you want to escape from. Set it on what you want to grow into. Don't focus on not being poor. Focus on embodying abundance. Don't focus on not being lonely. Focus on radiating love. What you focus on is what you feed with life force, and what you feed is what becomes your experience. Refocusing your intention also means aligning your actions with your vision. Intention without consistent alignment becomes daydreaming. Each thought, each decision, each small choice throughout your day should reflect the energy of your intention. If your intention is to live in peace, then your actions must reflect calmness and compassion. If your intention is success, then your habits must reflect discipline and purpose. The more your actions match your vision, the stronger your signal becomes in the field, and the faster your external world begins to rearrange itself to support you. The mind's natural state is chaos until you train it to focus. Refocusing your intention is that training. It's the practice of teaching your mind to serve your soul rather than control it. It's about quieting the noise of what everyone else is doing and listening to the whisper of your own inner guidance. Every time you bring your awareness back to your intention, you strengthen it. Every time you choose to focus on what you want instead of what you fear, you collapse the wave of potential into the reality of your choosing. You're no longer reacting to life. You're directing it with purpose and clarity. Refocusing your intention turns you from a wanderer of possibilities into a conscious creator. You become deliberate in your thoughts, consistent in your emotions, and aligned in your actions. You stop scattering your energy and start channeling it toward the vision that lights your soul on fire. And when your focus becomes that pure, that unwavering, the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. Present moment is not just a point in time, it is the gateway to transformation. The only space where real change can happen. Every time your mind drifts into the past, you're replaying what already happened. And every time you worry about the future, you're creating imaginary scenarios that don't yet exist. Neither of those states holds any true power. The power of creation, healing, and awareness only exists in the now. To reconnect with the present moment means to reclaim your consciousness from the illusions of time. It means choosing to wake up from the dream of repetition that keeps you living as a shadow of yesterday. When you are fully present, you break the emotional addiction to the past and the anxiety about the future, and you begin to experience life through pure awareness, filtered, alive, and full of possibility. Most people are rarely here. Their bodies may be sitting in this moment, but their minds are somewhere else, caught in a loop of memories, regrets, plans, and fears. They're thinking about what they should have said, what they still need to do, what might go wrong tomorrow. This constant mental noise disconnects them from the truth of existence. When you live that way, you are not truly living your existing in a projection of your thoughts. To reconnect with the present moment, you must first recognize how lost your awareness has become. Notice how your mind pulls you into stories. Notice how quickly you react, how fast you judge, how habitually you resist what is. The simple act of noticing is the first step toward awakening. The present moment doesn't need to be achieved. It only needs to be noticed. It's already here, quietly waiting beneath the chatter of your thoughts. You don't need to go find it. You only need to stop leaving it. When you close your eyes and take a deep breath, feeling the air move through your lungs, you reconnect with the life force that animates you. That breath doesn't exist in the past or the future. It only exists now. The more you focus on it, the more you anchor yourself in presence. Your nervous system begins to calm, your mind begins to slow, and your awareness starts to expand. You begin to sense the stillness that lives underneath the chaos. In that stillness, you find peace, not the kind that depends on everything being perfect, but the kind that exists regardless of conditions. Reconnecting with the present moment also means releasing the illusion of control. The mind loves to predict and plan, to grasp and resist, but the truth is, life unfolds far beyond the reach of our mental constructs. When you live fully present, you realize you don't need to control everything. You only need to be aware enough to respond consciously to what arises. That awareness gives you the power to choose your reactions instead of being run by them. In the present, you are no longer bound by the emotional residue of your past experiences. You become an observer rather than a reactor. You begin to notice that thoughts and emotions are not who you are. They are simply passing clouds moving through the vast sky of your awareness. Being present is also the foundation of creativity and intuition. When you are deeply connected to now, you access the intelligence that exists beyond the analytical mind. Ideas flow easily. Inspiration arises naturally, and clarity becomes effortless.